of the biggest challenges believers have is how to understand God's timing. We often pray to expect answers, but God works differently. His timing is perfect. His purpose is for our good. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. God's timing is perfect. God knows the exact moment everything should happen. Yes, He does. He knows the right time for anything to happen in your life, in your family, in your career, even in the world. He has the right timing for everything. And the truth is that God operates outside of humans' impatience, and He never makes any mistake. Galatians chapter 4 verse 4. But when the fullness of the time came, God sent His Son. So the coming of Jesus Christ on the surface of the earth shows that God does things with His divine timing. He knows the right schedule for everything He does. So if that thing that you are trusting God for, if that thing that you are believing God for has not happened yet, please take note that it is not because God has forgotten. It is just that the perfect time has not yet arrived. God's timing requires us to wait. God's timing requires us to wait. Now you need to understand that waiting does not mean wasting. Waiting on God does not mean wasting. You are not wasting your time when you are waiting on God. Waiting is rather God's training ground. Psalm 27 verse 14. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Now, please take note that while you are waiting, God is working on your faith. God is working on your character. God is working on your endurance. He's working on your ability to wait. And please take note that while God is keeping you waiting, He is training you so that that matter that you are waiting on God for, you will be able to fit in appropriately when the time has fully come. There are people who don't wait for anything. Like in their lives, they don't wait for anything. But then please take note that when they enter into that particular thing, there is every tendency that they might make mistake. They might have issues. Why? Because they did not wait, because they were not trained for that particular purpose. So waiting on God helps you to get trained. Waiting does not mean wasting. And finally, Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So waiting is a proof of trust. When you wait, you declare that God's way is better than your own way. God's timing involves seasons. Now, just as nature has seasons, we have the rainy season, we have the dry season, and in some other parts of the world, we have the summer, we have the spring, we have the autumn or fall, we even have the winter. That is how life has its own season. There is a season to be born, there's a season to die, there's a season to marry, there's a season not to marry, there's a season to have children, there's a season to gather wealth, there's a season not to gather wealth. To everything in life, there is a season. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Remember Abraham and Sarah. They waited to have a child, a wonderful son called Isaac. Joseph waited. He waited from the pit, and he entered into slavery and then into prison before he got to the palace. David waited, and his time of waiting, he was in the bush. He was taking care of animals before his time of being anointed as a king. So the time of waiting in most cases is not a beautiful time. It is not a time of admiration. It is not a time when people admire you for waiting. As a matter of fact, they may not even see that you are in your waiting season. You alone know what you're going through. Looking at the life of Joseph, he had to suffer. He was sold into slavery. Before he got sold into slavery, he even entered a pit. He almost got killed. And from slavery, he went to prison, and then from prison, before God remembered him. So it was a moment of suffering for Joseph. It was a difficult moment. So waiting in most cases is not a sweet and palatable experience. It is a moment to hold on and know what the Lord is saying concerning your life and destiny. So please, do not compare your waiting season to other people's waiting season, because every promise has an appointed time. God's promise often looks like delay, but it comes with a greater glory. Sometimes God seems to come late, but please take note that when it is as if God is coming late, He is setting up the stage for a greater miracle. Remember when Lazarus died, Jesus delayed. He delayed to the point that even his sisters said, "Oh, his body is already smelling." But Jesus delayed so that God's glory will be revealed. 2 Peter 3 verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, but is long-suffering to usward. God's delays are divine strategies. He allows some waiting so that his glory will come out in a weightier measure. God's timing is beyond our understanding. Isaiah 55 verse 8 to 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. So God sees what we cannot see. His plan is bigger. He has the blueprint. He has the bigger picture. And he sees the end from the beginning. God's timing is beyond our understanding. Oh yes, his timing is beyond your understanding. Isaiah 55 verse 8 to 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. So God sees what we cannot see. He sees the end from the beginning. He knows what the future holds. So I will advise you, I will encourage you to follow the God that knows the end from the beginning. You may not understand what the future holds, but I encourage you to hold on to the God who knows the future, who sees the end from the beginning. He knows the way, and he knows a better path and the best destination to take you to. So many times we may not understand the why for the timing. We may not understand the why for the delays. But if we have an understanding of the workings of God, we will be able to trust who is behind it, which is God. So faith means trusting God even when his delays doesn't really make sense. In conclusion, to understand God's timing, please take note that his timing is perfect. His timing requires waiting. His timing involves seasons. His timing sometimes looks like delays, but brings greater glory. And his timing is higher than our understanding. And to conclude this again, I'd like to say, he maketh all things beautiful in his own time. Please take an action, a positive action today by trusting your life into the hands of God, into the hands of the one who knows your future, who sees the end from the beginning. Because his divine timing will never fail if you wait.